Magandang araw sa inyong lahat.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening po sa lahat ng nakikinig po.
Hello to all our viewers from here and around the world.
Napakaganda na ating talintiman ngayong hapon ito.
Isang mainit na pagbati po sa inyong lahat.
Well, friends,
Welcome to the Bridges Show.
I'm very happy to be here, and I think it should be a really interesting and fun topic.
What are the things you want to learn? So I want to take it from there and then I listen to them.
Meron sila mga mithiin upang maging makabuluhan pa ang pagiging Katoliko. Lalong-lalo na sa susunod na henerasyon.
sa akin po, sa mga kabataan, use competence as a basis.
In real life, hindi naman talaga tayo tumitigil sa buhay. Kailangan talaga tuloy lang ang buhay kahit anong challenges natin.
Palawan, Cebu, Baguio City, Atty. Dwight, pati La Union. So we are saying that revenge travel is real.
Mas kailangan natin na i-share ang hiwaga ng sinin sa mga tao.
Food and health should go hand in hand. So yan ang gusto namin paratingin sa gobyerno.
If you will just devote your life teaching, hindi ka yayaman sa pera, pero yayaman ka sa tao.
Siyempre, ang pinakamaganda po naman sa ating universidad ay yung talagang natuturuan po tayo kung paano maging mabuting tao.
Happy anniversary to Bridges! Here at Bridges, we build bridges of faith, bridges of hope, and bridges of love.
Good day to everyone. Magandang umaga, magandang gabi, mga ka-bridges sa buong mundo. Nako, isa na naman pong masayang hapon, araw ang ating pong mararanasan. Kaya po, upo lang po kayo dyan. Nako, teka po, hindi po ba niyo napapansin na tila lalong umiinit, tumitindi ang baha at bagyo? Nako, climate change is real. We can no longer deny that human activities such as deforestation and industrial processes are the most significant factors that threaten our entire world and civilization. They have led to an increase in the emission of greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide that has ultimately contributed to global warming and other adverse effects in our planet, like extreme weather events, and other disruptions to ecosystems and habitats. Addressing climate change requires international cooperation, sustainable practices, and the development of alternative energy resources. In this week's episode of Bridges, let's talk about climate change. Usapang climate change ito. And how government, companies, and members of the public can contribute to the creation of sustainable solutions and the necessary actions. With our special guest who will enlighten us with this concern. So do stay with us the whole show, ha? Diyan lang po kayo. I am Miss Telma Samson Maranya. I will be your host for today. After many years in student affairs, I am now the UST Tomasino Center Program Coordinator. Our center is the official technology business coordinator of UST, and we are incubating innovations and its commercialization. With me today to host the show is none other than the president of the UST Alumni Association Incorporated himself, Attorney Dwight Ramos. Welcome back to Bridges, Attorney Dwight.
Thank you, Ma'am Telma. Maraming salamat. And yes, I'm very glad to be back here at Bridges because it's a new year. And this is our second episode, of course, for 2024. So maraming salamat din for joining us and hosting this episode with me. Now, siguro batiin rin muna natin yung ating mga viewers from all around the world. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. And to the first-time viewers of Bridges, Bridges is a University of Santo Tomas Alumni Association virtual talk show that showcases and provides notable Tomasian alumni an opportunity to share their expertise and experiences on various topics for lifelong learning. And today's episode is brought to you by UST Alumni Association Inc. And of course, yung sinabi mo, Ma'am Telma, we're talking of the hot weather or the cold weather. Medyo mix na ngayon, halo-halo na yan. We're talking about climate change and of course, sustainable development. But before we continue, let us ask our audience to please remember to like and share our show and to subscribe to our UST Tomasian Alumni Community YouTube channel and follow our Facebook page. Ito po ay isang malaking pagsuporta sa ating programa. So maraming salamat po. Ma'am Telma, kanina sinasabi mo nararamdaman na ng lahat, no? And but despite that, no, yung title ng ating show, it's Greek to me pa rin, ano? I think there is a reason kung bakit yung title it's Greek to me, yung pag-uusapan natin ngayong hapon.
Ayan, Attorney Dwight, sinimulan natin ang taon sa ating pagmamahal sa kalikasan. Kaya nga, kumbaga, priority na ito. Kaya po, maupo lang po kayo dyan, samahan nyo kami. Masaya po itong kwentuhan. So, Attorney Dwight, wag na nating patagalin. Introduce na po natin ang ating speaker.
Yes, of course. And, Engineer Sherwin Valeroso is a Bachelor of Science in Chemical Engineering graduate, of course, of the University of Santo Tomas here in Manila in 2006. He holds licenses as a chemical engineer, environmental planner, and internal auditor for ISO and management systems. He holds a master's degree units in environmental management and public administration. He has done researches related to this field, the latest of which was done in August 2019, the Manila Bay Cleanup, Rehabilitation, and Preservation, the case of solid waste management in the city of General Trias, Cavite. He has been the recipient of several awards related to the work he does for the environment, and the latest of which were 2 awards given last November lang, 2023, the Sustainability Leadership Award, Public Service Sustainability Leadership for championing the work in leading the change for a sustainable Philippines, given by the JCI Quezon City Capitol and Union Bank of the Philippines. And in November 2023 as well, Exemplary Proficient Practitioner Award, Outstanding Practice and Significant Contributions in the Field of Sustainable Community, Energy, and Environmental Development spanning for almost 20 years. So this is the Manila Plus Award 2023 at Winford Hotel Manila. Truly, his professional chemical engineering life has been focused on environmental management and dealing with sustainable ways to meet climate change. He is currently the Supervising Environmental Management Specialist of General Trias City Environment and Natural Resources Office, or the CENRO. So, let us all welcome our special guest, Engineer Sherwin Valeroso. Engineer, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Engineer.
Good afternoon po, Ma'am Telma and Attorney Dwight. And a pleasant morning, afternoon, and evening sa lahat po ng ating viewers dito sa Bridges. And of course to all UST Tomasian community. So I'm really proud to be parang galing po sa UST. I'm very delighted to be part of it.
And Ma'am Telma, we are proud of Engineer also, no? Siyempre, from our ranks, no, somebody like Engineer really who is immersed into this kind of work that we do for the environment, di ba, Ma'am Telma?
Parang nahiya nga ako kasi ang ginagawa ko lang composting Ito matindi. Matindi ang ginagawa nito, kaya talaga namang makinig po tayo sa kanyang ikukwento sa atin. Sherwin, ano ba? Kamusta ba? Teka muna, alam ko nun, makulit ka during leadership training Isa ka sa pasaway nun Pero hindi ko iniisip, kita mo nga yan, yung palang likot na yun, meron palang pupuntahan. Talaga naman. Saan ka na ba ngayon?
Yes, ma'am. So I'm connected now with the city government of General Trias. And yun, public service po ang pinili nating daan or career pathways in which we are championing environmental management to our communities, barangays, then mga schools and institutions, then all of the stakeholders within ACT. That's why napaka-significant niya na career and work na ginagawa ko po ngayon. So I'm very happy that I am on this side of my career. And yun, nakakamiss din nung UST days. Kasi sa leadership training, yung lulublob ka sa mga putika, di ba?
Song ko ata may kasalanan doon,
Ay, possibility. Mukhang malaking possibility.
Kaya, di ba? Kaya nga, Attorney Dwight, sabi nga natin, yung mga bagay na ginagawa nung nasa kolehiyo pa lang, Sherwin, nung pinag-uusapan natin noon ang sustainable development, Siyempre, yung pa rin naman ang definition noon, Pero gusto ko marinig ngayon niya kung nasaan ka. Kung paano ba, kung ano ba ang iyong pananaw, kung ano ang itong sustainable development para naman sa ating mga nakikinig, Para naman ito ay talaga namang maintindihan natin once and for all.
Yes, yes, Ma'am Telma. So, dati kasi nung mga batch namin, actually hindi pa masyadong matunog itong sustainable development na ito. So, come this working era nung mga batch namin, biglang sumulpot or biglang umusbong itong mga term ng sustainable development, sustainable waste management, lahat ng klase ng sustainable. So, meron na tayo. So, yung sustainable development, parang ang meaning niya, according dito sa Brundtland Report, so yung technical na meaning niya, it's we need our future generations to meet their own needs without sacrificing also yung mga needs natin na nararanasan natin yan. So we need this clean air, malinis na hangin, malinis na tubig, yung lupa natin hindi pa poison, then okay pa yung mga karagatan natin, okay pa yung mga kabundukan natin. So dapat ma-experience yan yung mga future generations natin. So kung sa mga apo po natin or mga apo sa tuhod, sa mga apo din ni Sir Dwight, Attorney Dwight, and sa mga anak ni Ma'am Telma. So dapat ma-experience pa nila yung magandang na-experience pa natin ngayon.
Yes.
Hindi siya okay pa yung mga natin, yung environment. So biglang bigla yatang nag-shift, biglang bumilis yung mga pangyayari. That's why there's a need nung tinatawag na sustainable development.
In other words, I think, Ma'am Telma, yung in the engineer is in providing for our needs today, di ba? Siyempre may mga needs tayo in living our lives today. Kailangan natin ng tubig, kailangan ng hangin, kailangan natin ng lupa, ng shelter, everything else. When we are providing for our needs, it should not sacrifice yung future generation, so that what we are enjoying today, they will also enjoy. Kaya naman, kaya Greek to me, I think, ang ibig sabihin lang nun para maintindihan natin, wag nating ubusin or wag nating samantalahin. So that what we have today, the future generations, sabi nga ni engineer, yung mga anak natin, yung mga apo natin, they will also enjoy the same resources and of course, have them also for their needs dating ng panahon nila.
Yes.
Yan. Actually po, yung trabaho nito ni Sherwin, mukhang there's really a tall order, Ayan, napakabigat po ng pasanin nitong si Engineer Sherwin. Kaya nga po, minabuti natin na marinig natin siya at makibahagi kung ano man yung pwede nating magawa. Di ba po, Engineer, ano po bang unang-una nating issue?
Yes, with this, magbibigay po tayo ng sample issue on paano natin maipapakita yung kung totoo ba tong sustainable development na to, bakit kailangan natin siya ngayon. So magpapakita po tayo ng actual scenario or actual issues that is really happening sa ating kapaligiran, and most especially dito po sa province ng Cavite yung ating isa-sample, since I'm living here since 1992. So nakita na po natin yung mga pagbabago. Ayun po. So pe-present po natin ng konti yung mga pagbabago na ito. Tapos ito po yung ating pag-uusapan.
Yes, and especially sabi nga ni Engineer, no, napakabilis ng mga pangyayari, no? From the time na estudyante siya and then naging professional, lumabas na yung word na sustainable development at itong mga pangyayari ng pangangailangan ngayon for the environmental protection, nagsulputan na, di ba, Engineer?
Yes po, Attorney. So bigay po tayo ng isang issue, yung issue number 1. So sample ng localized issues dito sa sustainable development pagdating sa water resources. Ayan. Alam naman po natin na yung tubig natin is very vital po sa ating pangangatawan. That's why ito po yung nakita natin na isa sa mga issues pagdating sa sustainable development. So yung tinatawag na water resources in Cavite, yung mga dams natin and groundwater. Yan, discuss lang natin ng konti, no po. So if there are numerous dams in the province of Cavite, why resort to groundwater? So there's a question mark. So may mga hundred of years na itayo yung mga dams na ito. But there's a big question. Bakit natin kailangan mag-resort sa mga groundwater? So yung groundwater, ito yung mga potable water na galing sa deep well. So according to our provincial governor, John Vic Remulla, there are no major dams in the province. And there are 200-year-old dams, non-operational for the last 100 years. Tapos, according to this Cavite Integrated Water Resource Management Master Plan, nagkaroon tayo ng tinatawag na master plan sa buong Cavite. Ang first issue that we have is that yung present water supply and distribution systems na nagko-cover sa buong probinsya ng Cavite is no longer able to meet the present and future aggregate demand ng ating mga tubig. So, based on this, meron tayong population trend na tinatawag. Noong 1990s, ang population lang ng Cavite is around 1,152,534. But umusbong siya ng 3,678,301 pagdating noong 2015. So, ganun kalaki yung kanyang inusbong from 1 million to 3 million in a span of 25 years. Yan. Then, second issue, yung Cavite's groundwater supply. Ang sinasabi dito, yung pagkuha ng tubig sa mga deep well in a number of areas in the province has already reached critical points, causing decreased groundwater levels and resulting in groundwater mining. So nagkakaroon na ng mga groundwater mining o nag-i-intrude na yung mga salt water natin galing sa Manila Bay papunta sa ating mga potable water.
Sure, Engineer Sherwin, ibig sabihin humahalo? Ganun ba yun?
Yes, humahalo na po yung, kaya minsan yung tubig natin, pag natikman natin galing sa gripo, parang medyo maalat-alat siya. Dahil nagkakaroon na itong tinatawag na salt water intrusion, lalong-lalo na kung ikaw ay, yung area mo malapit sa mga dagat. So, yun po yun. Yun na yung senyales na nagkakaroon ng saltwater intrusion ng ating mga.
Sherwin, kasi akala natin forever yun, hindi mauubos, ano?
Oo, yun po yung no? Yun yung doon pala tayo nagkamali. Marami totoo pala yun, no? Maraming nagkakamali sa maling akala. So, yun pala, yun yung totoong nangyayari. So, actual palang senaryo na nagkakaroon na ng pagkuha ng pagpasok ng salt water doon sa ating mga katubigan or yung mga fresh water natin, yung potable water. And lastly, ito yung under ng issue number 1 natin, wala raw or there is a lack of any septage collection. Ano ba yung septage? Yung septage, ito yung laman ng Poso Negro natin na every 3 to 5 years dapat ay pinapatanggalan natin siya ng laman because nagkakaroon na ng discharge papunta sa mga ilog natin or dagat natin yung septic tank natin. So, kaya ang sinasabi dito, there is lack of any septage collection and treatment system as well as any pipe wastewater collection ng ating mga wastewater. Yung wastewater na ito, galing to sa mga domestic wastewater natin, sa paliligo natin, sa mga banyo, sa paghugas ng mga plato. Yan. So due to this lack, septic tank effluent is generally allowed to leach. So yung may tinatawag po kasi tayo dati na yung Poso Negro na bottomless, yung walang takip yung ilalim niya ng semento. So yun yung tinatawag na nagkakaroon na ng leaching. Hinihigop na pababa yung mga laman ng septic tank natin. Then papunta eventually sa ating groundwater o yung ating deep well. Ganun kasama no po. In the ground, while untreated wastewater from households and industrial establishments is returned to the water sources. Ayun. Yun po yung mga issues natin na kinakaharap. Yun yung issue number 1 pa lang na pagdating sa sustainable development. Medyo malala.
Pag-usapan natin sandali yan, no? Yung sinasabi nga ni Ma'am Telma kanina, no? Akala natin limitless. Presentation kanina ni engineer, no? Over a span of about 100 years. So inakala ng mga tao, inakala natin na yung dams natin are sufficient and they will always provide. Unfortunately, tulad din ng sinabi nga ng butihing governor ng Cavite, talagang problema na ito because they are unable to supply ngayon yung present needs natin. And so what more? Yung future needs ng ating future generation. So kailangan talaga dyan pumasok na yung sustainable development initiatives natin. Sabi nga ni Ma'am Telma kanina, ano ba yung mga pwede nating gawin, no? Para makatulong dito sa ano na to, sa issues na ito and maibsan natin yung mga problema na yan. So napakabigat, no? Because of course, sabi ng engineer kanina, one of the very first needs that we have is of course clean water to drink. Ayan. And while tayo, we are struggling to provide it for ourselves now dahil yung mga dam pala na nagawa dati, 100 years na. Hindi na pala gumaga. Oo. And now we have resorted to groundwater. Diba, engineer?
Yun nga, attorney, may solusyon nga sana. Kaso medyo pumapalya na rin, ano?
Correct.
Dahil nga dito sa mga inuugat nito kung ano-ano ring iba't iba pang problema. Ako attorney tsaka engineer, mawalan na ng kuryente, wag lang tubig.
Oh, actually, tama yun. I believe that. Mas mahirap mawalan ng tubig kaysa sa kuryente.
Oo. Kasi sa totoo lang parang ang daming kung ano-ano no na sa tingin ko parang priority ata dapat ito, Sherwin. Ako dapat mag-ingay tayo, no?
Yes.
Yes, yun
Talaga
po.
tayo.
Of course,
Kaya,
sinampulan tayo ni Engineer Sherwin, shinare niya syempre yung kanyang trabaho at sa probinsya ng Cavite. But the truth is, this is really nationwide, no? This is reflective of the whole country and the whole world siguro, no? Because engineer, alam naman natin, even the United Nations has come up with the Sustainable Development Goals already, and they are asking people to really do. Ilan ba yung Sustainable Development Goals na yon? Na I think they're about
17. Meron po tayong 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And isa sa pinaka-importante sa Sustainable Development Goals po, attorney, yung clean water and sanitation.
Correct. And so reflective yan na worldwide, this is really an issue. And we're glad na we have Tomasians like engineers looking into this. And alam mo, Ma'am Telma, ako kaya napansin ko agad si engineer, ano? Because I know that napakasipag naman talaga nito. Engineer, yung UNEP trip mo sa Thailand, is that part you did also? Ano mga napag-usapan doon?
Yes po, isa sa mga napag-usapan doon kasi is that yung plastics na waste natin na papunta sa mga ocean ay talagang medyo na siya, alarming. So tayo nga po sa Pilipinas, number 3 tayo sa buong mundo na nagko-contribute to that discharge of or disposal of solid waste or mga plastic sa ating mga dagat. So that's why yung mga pinag-usapan po doon, nagbabalangkas ng mga policies doon sa United Nations on how to mitigate or paano natin masolusyonan yung mga ganong problema natin sa disposal, yung rampant na disposal ng mga basura or mga plastic waste sa mga dagat natin or sa ilog. Ang problema kasi hindi kasi yung mga tao po natin or yung community, once na magtapon sila kunwari sa bintana ng sasakyan nila, kala nila doon lang siya mapupunta, but it will end up papunta pala siya sa dagat.
Ayan. Attorney Dwight, Engineer Sherwin, ang gusto kong kumatok sa mga kabataan, marami sa atin itong last week na problema na sana magkaroon sila ng ticket nitong sikat na concert kakatapos lang, Pero mukhang meron tayong priority, no? O ayan, sige, natapos na ang concert. Teka muna. Eto, may problema tayo sa tubig at tayo po ay nananawagan. Sherwin, bakit nga ba ito connected sa Manila Bay? Ikwento mo nga sa amin.
Yun, so connected siya sa Manila Bay dahil once po na nag-dispose tayo or nag-discharge tayo sa bahay natin, hindi naman siya mag-i-stay lang doon sa bahay natin o sa paligid ng bahay natin. But maghahanap yan para ng lusutan kung saan siya pupunta. Kumari kung tubig siya or kalat man siya na napunta sa tubig, hahanap siya ng lusutan, pupunta yan ng creek or ng kanal, then eventually papunta sa mga ilog natin. Then yung ilog maghahanap din yan ng way palabas. So eventually papunta yan sa mga dagat natin. So dito sa province ng Cavite, sa Metro Manila, sa Bulacan, sa Bataan, Pampanga, papunta lahat po yan sa Manila Bay. Ang naninirahan kasi within that Manila Bay region is more than 20 million lahat ng households natin or ng population natin within this area. Ganun kalaki yung affected population.
Nandito yan si Engineer Sherwin as our guest kasi dito niya ine-explain yung title natin, It's All Greek to Me, akala mo ganun-ganun lang, di ba? Pero yung epekto pala, napakabigat, no? Ang example nga ni Engineer Sherwin, nagbukas ka ng bintana ng sasakyan mo, tinapon mo yung balat ng candy na plastic, tapos na, no? Out of sight, out of mind. Hindi natin alam. That will result to issue number 2. Di ba? Engineer Sherwin, can you give us a background of another sample of a problem that is now Manila Bay that we are facing?
Sige po, i-present po natin tong issue number 2 na to. Mukhang marami pong magkaka-interest pagdating po dito. And so sa issue number 2 naman po natin, ito, sinasabi po rito na nakafocus na tayo dito ngayon sa Manila Bay. So Manila Bay daw ay isa sa mga importanteng harbors sa buong Pilipinas that is central to the country's economic development, affecting the lives of more than or about 30 million people. Then 13 million of which are in Metro Manila. So ang Manila Bay po kasi ay isang coastal and marine resources provide livelihood and food sa millions of Filipinos natin. So medyo busy area tong Manila Bay. So it is also considered as the country's main port for maritime trade and travel and acts as a main water catchment for many bodies of water na nakapaligid sa Manila Bay natin. So ganun siya ka-importante itong Manila Bay natin. That's why mamaya po maidi-discuss natin yung Manila Bay Clean Up Rehabilitation and Preservation Program. Yan. However, nagkaroon po ng yung years of institutional neglect and environmental abuse na abuso natin. Yung kahinaan ng Manila Bay natin rendered the water quality ng Manila Bay unfit. Hindi na siya fit for human contact with organic pollution, heavy metals, and fecal coliform levels in some hotspots reaching the hazardous stage. So ano ba yung mga major environmental problems natin sa Manila Bay? Number 1, yung nag-deteriorate na yung kanyang water quality, nagkaroon na ng coastal erosion at siltation, overexploitation ng mga fishery resources natin, then yung degradation or pagkawala na ng mga habitats and loss of biodiversity natin. dito sa Manila Bay. Ganon kadami yung naging problema natin ngayon sa Manila Bay. Then, most of the pollution daw ay galing sa mga land-based human activities. So in short, number one na main culprit po kung bakit nagkaroon tayo ng masyadong maraming problema dito sa Manila Bay ay tayo rin, mga tao na nakapalibot sa Manila Bay Area.
Yan.
Then, yan, ito nga po. Nung January 29, nagkaroon nung nag-file yung mga residents ng Manila Bay sa Regional Trial Court sa Imus, Cavite. Yan, ano nga ba yung kanilang pinail? Na they complained that the alleged water quality of the Manila Bay had fallen below the allowable standard set by the law. Yan, kaya nung September 13, 2002, nanalo po sila. So the Regional Trial Court rendered a decision in favor of the respondents. So sino ba yung mga kinasuhan ng mga respondents natin na ito? So ang kinasuhan po nila ay yung 13 national government agencies, including the Department of Interior Local Government, to clean up, rehabilitate, and preserve the Manila Bay and restore and maintain its waters to Class SB level. Ayun. Yun po yung mga, sino-sino nga ba itong 13 national government agencies? Ayan po, DNR, DILG, DPWH, DOH, DA, Department of Budget Management, MMDA, LUWA, MWSS, DepEd, PCG-PNP, Philippine Ports Authority.
Engineer, talaga palang matatapang ang mga taga-Imus, Cavite.
Matatapang ang mga Caviteño, sila ang nanguna sa
Caviteño.
pagkaso ng di ba po, 13 national government agencies. Ang problema po, hindi naman kaya ng government agencies lang yung na isolusyonan yung problema natin sa Manila. So, they need yung help ng buong citizenry natin within this region.
Kailangan pa rin talaga yung tao, will have to do something. Kaya yan yung pinag-usap kanina, yung unang question pa lang ni Ma'am Telma, no? What do we really need to do as consumers, no? Kasi tayo rin para bang 'di ba napag-uusapan naman palagi that you do not bite the hand that feeds you, 'di ba? Meron tayong kasabihan na ganoon. Pero sa ginagawa natin, no, dito sa usapin na ito, parang pinapatay natin yung bumubuhay sa atin. Or we just do not realize na yung buhay natin is connected dito sa Manila Bay because engineer, ano yung binanggit mo kanina? We are dependent on this body of water for food, livelihood, di ba?
Almost all. Ang dami pong ang daming kaya niyang serbisyohan sa tao.
Yes.
And hindi ko na rin po siya hindi ko na rin po siya nadatnan na malinis yung Manila Bay. Kaya nagtatanong na lang po ako sa nanay at tatay ko kung ano ba yung Manila Bay dati, noong 1960s o 1970s.
Correct.
Alam niyo, attorney, and Sherwin, engineer, isang beses lang ako nakapag-coastal cleanup dyan sa Manila Bay. Eto, kwento ko sa inyo ha. Binigyan kami ng several sacks of, yung parang sako na ginagamit sa bigas. Tapos, ako, ayoko maglakad. Hindi lang ako sa isang lugar. Nag-concentrate ako. Alam niyo po, nagsimula kami mga 6:00 ng umaga. Huminto ako mga 10:30. 4 na sako, hindi ako umaalis kung nasaan ako. Hindi ako naglalakad-lakad. Nasa isang lugar lang ako. 4 na sako yung napuno ko. Ngayon po pag nagpunta kayo doon, hindi ka na talaga yung katulad nung dati na nakakalakad ka doon. Pero kasi hindi yun Dinadala po lalo na kapag umulan, bumagyo, dinadala yung galing sa kung saan-saan na mga basura. Kaya kahit yun ay takpan, hindi naman yun doon nanggaling sa iba't ibang lugar. Kaya talagang merong sisisihin
I think very telling yung sinabi kanina ni engineer that yung cause nito is really the people, no, the land-based activities of the people themselves. Tayo mismo na nakikinabang sa Manila Bay, sa body of water na ito for our life and livelihood, tayo rin yung sumisira. At yung nabanggit niya kanina ni engineer, sometimes without us knowing or realizing, no, yung isang balat ng candy, pag pinagsama-sama mo yan, 30 million people Isang balat lang po tayo ng candy, talagang mapupuno at mamamatay yung Manila Bay.
Yes, opo. Ano kasi siya kapag kinumbine mo yung sa dami po ng tao ng naninirahan within this Manila Bay region, maski tigi-isa lang ng piraso ng candy wrapper, napakalaki na ng effect niya sa buong Manila Bay natin.
Yes, and talking about sustainability, yung binanggit ng ng engineer na hindi na niya inabutan na malinis. So paano pa yung succeeding generations ulit, no? And doon naman sa generation before us, they never really realized din na may hangganan nito. Sabi nga ni Ma'am Telma, akala ng lahat sa maling akala, unlimited ito and the nature will always provide. Pero sa nakikita natin, nako, emergency na.
Emergency na.
Yung
Matapang ang Kabitenyo na nag-ano.
Oo, naku, salamat sa kanila. Teka muna, kapag kayo po ay nagpunta sa ating UST Museum, may makikita po kayo doon malaking buwaya, alligator, na staff na po siya siyempre. No? And ang kwento, yung po ay nahuli sa Pasig River. So, na-imagine po ninyo yun. Ganong kalaking buwaya, alligator, nahuli doon. So, talagang unimaginable. So, Sherwin, maliban dun sa mga kwento mo, no, ano na ngayon ang mga responsibilidad at ginagawa ng mga LGUs at DILG? So, eto na ngayon, kwento mo na sa amin ang inyong ginagawa sa inyong opisina.
Ayun, sige po. I-present po natin in a bit yung ginagawa natin sa ating opisina. Yung DILG po kasi ngayon, nag-conduct sila ng tinatawag na annual LGU Compliance Assessment. Pagdating dito sa Manila Bay Clean Up, Rehabilitation and Preservation Program, nakafocus ang programa na ito. Number one, sa liquid waste management. So lahat ng mga katubigan natin or yung discharge natin sa bahay natin, sa mga institutions, sa mga commercial establishment, chine-check ng LGUs yung kanyang mga discharges. Then sa solid waste management, syempre nandyan. Paano yung kung nag-i-implement ba ng mga no segregation o collection policy, itong LGUs na to, then tumutulong ba yung mga stakeholders para sa pag-i-implement ng solid waste management. Then sa informal settler families naman, nandito yung paglilipat ng mga bahay na malapit sa ilog or sa mga katubigan po natin papunta sa isang socialized housing project. And finally, yung information, education, and communication campaign. Yun talaga yung pinaka-importante. Kailangan constant yung pagpapaalala sa mga tao or sa communities about ano na ba yung nangyayari sa natin, sa mundo natin pagdating sa environment. Bakit kailangan tayo maalarma. Ayun. Then, present ko ng konti po yung ating initiatives na ginawa po dito. Baka may matkuha po yung ating mga manonood at may implement nila sa kanilang mga own communities at sa mga bahay po nila.
Correct. Yes, go ahead. You can share that para matignan natin and ma-appreciate po natin. Because sabi nga natin, this is not only an issue in Manila Bay. Kanina nabanggit na rin ni Ma'am Telma, no? Nabanggit mo kaagad yung Pasig River. Pag naisip mo yung Pasig River, syempre naisip mo na rin yung Marikina River plus yung Laguna Lake. Naku, talaga naman kailangan na. So go ahead, Engineer Sherwin, ma-share mo sa amin. And of course, ang involvement naman ng General Trias dito is you're part of the tributary. May mga river ba kayo na discharges into Manila Bay, kaya kayo talagang involved din dito?
Yes po, attorney. Meron kaming dalawang major rivers na directly draining dito sa ating Manila Bay. Yung Cañas River System saka yung Imus Ilang-Ilang Rio Grande River System.
Yeah. So for that, we're nandiyan ka. At least in two. I think marami yata yan. Yung
attorney, hindi naman po pala speaker, mananawagan.
Nananawagan, tama. Nananawagan. Ito po, i-play ko po, tingnan nyo po kung may sounds po na.
Okay.
Po.
Facing the challenge of promoting a sustainable and healthy environment
okay
has always been the target and continuing goal of the city government of General Trias. Through its plans and programs, the city government aims to provide a safe and clean environment for the general welfare of its constituents. Despite the challenges brought by the coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19, which affected the daily lives of every Filipino, the city government of General Trias continues to take part and implement necessary practices to ensure and accomplish a clean and healthy surrounding that is beneficial to the wellness of every Gentriseños. The efforts in participating in the Manila Bay cleanup, rehabilitation, and preservation programs remain unhampered despite the overburdened pandemic response. Members of the Save Manila Bay Task Force have doubled up their hard work, perseverance in order to accomplish their tasks and commit to the mission of protecting the environment. The collective effort of local officials down to the barangay level have successfully led in achieving this year's objectives and advocacy of protecting Manila Bay. Mission and vision of Manila Bay Cleanup, Rehabilitation and Preservation Program. First, to clean up, rehabilitate, and restore the waters of the Manila Bay to Class SB level, making it fit for swimming, skin diving, and other forms of contact recreation, and to preserve it thereafter. Manila Bay, reflective of God's glory, is a clean, wholesome, and productive ecosystem, a center for socio-economic development, and a natural heritage nurtured by Filipino values towards a better quality of life for present and future generations. These are the key priorities of the Manila Bay Cleanup, Rehabilitation, and Preservation Program. Liquid waste management and reduction of pollution load. Solid waste management. Management of informal settler families and reduction of exposure to flooding. Biodiversity conservation. Fisheries, resource management, and sustainable tourism. And the implementation of the MBCRP. On liquid waste management. From the third quarter of 2021 to the first half of 2022, more than 100 commercial industries were inspected and given notice of violation and non-compliance, specifically on different Philippine environmental laws such as no certificate of non-coverage, no environmental compliance certificate, no wastewater discharge permit, no hazardous waste generators ID number, no pollution control officer, no permit to operate of air pollution control and source equipment, no oil and grease trap, no materials recovery facility, and waste segregation area with proper labeling. In an effort to rescue the Imus Ilang-Ilang Rio Grande River system and Manila Bay from further degradation, and to solve the impending water problem, and also to ensure sustainable use of water resources, the city government of General Trias had already established 3 wastewater treatment facilities located at the General Trias Public Market, General Trias Medicare Hospital Complex, and Mangahan Health Center. Moreover, the city government of General Trias was able to acquire different environmental permits and certificates from the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, such as Certificate of Non-Coverage for City of General Trias Crematorium and Central Public Market's Wastewater Treatment Facility, Wastewater Discharge Permit for Central Public Market and City of General Trias Crematorium, and Permit to Operate of Air Pollution Source Equipment and Air Pollution Control Facility for our City of General Trias Crematorium. Furthermore, these are also some of the achievements and practices in terms of liquid waste management. Approval of General Trias Master Road and Drainage Plan for the year 2022 to 2026 through Sangguniang Panunsod Resolution number 03-2022-045. Conduct of dislodging and siphoning of septic tanks of public institutional buildings. Opening of the biggest septic treatment facility in the country made by Allied Consult. As a response to the increasing generation of biodegradable waste problem and dilemma in the city of General Trias, a centralized composting facility was constructed to handle biodegradable waste of its 10 population barangays and nearby barangays. In fact, for the year 2021, it was able to produce 28,313 kilograms of compost distributed to all citizens, stakeholders, and farmers of the city of General Trias for free. Moreover, the city government of General Trias adopted the biogas system for the conversion of biodegradable kitchen and market wastes last May 2019. With the said implementation strategy, the City Environment and Natural Resources Office, through the Solid Waste Management Section, was able to convert a total of 9,735 kilograms of food waste, kitchen waste, and wet biodegradable market waste from January to December 2021. Mayor Antonio A. Ferrer also issued a directive to the Sangguniang Kabataan to conduct their own monthly cleanup in addition to the ongoing city and barangay program. Congressman John Ferrer also assigned additional street sweepers to further improve and help the government to improve sanitation in the city. This year, the city government of General Trias collaborated and partnered with Plastic Bank Philippines in the management of recyclable waste and plastic waste reduction program through incentives and other benefits by collecting empty soft and hard plastics like PET, LDPE, HDPE, and PV plastic bottles in the whole city of General Trias. The city of General Trias is also the first LGU in Calabarzon region to partner with Plastic Credit Exchange and Hope Business for Good Aling Tendera in the implementation of the Aling Tendera Plastic Palitpera program, which is a significant program that will address solid waste disposal problem. On management of informal settler families, the city government of General Trias has been committed in ensuring that its constituents have decent house. With this, the city government started relocating informal settler families who are living along danger zones, such as riverbanks, flood-prone and landslide-prone areas, and those affected by government projects, to a well-organized household socialized housing project called Kalinga Village located at Barangay Santiago. Moreover, the city strengthened and intensified its local housing board and the local committee against squatting syndicate and professional squatters. On IEC institutional arrangements, the city government was able to accomplish and conduct more than 22 information, education, and communication campaign on solid waste management, water quality management, climate change adaptation and mitigation, and Manila Bay Clean-up Rehabilitation and Preservation Program via physical or face-to-face IEC campaign and online IEC campaign in the whole city of General Trias. The said campaigns, seminars, webinars were participated by more than 5,666 residents covering the 33 barangays of the city. In addition, a total of 12,112 information materials on different environmental management strategies such as bawal magtapon ng basura dito, citywide implementation of no segregation, no collection policy, bawal ang pagsusunog ng basura, Republic Act 9003 or the Ecological Solid Waste Management Act, Republic Act 6969 or the Toxic and Hazardous Waste Management Act, Republic Act 9275 or also known as the Philippine Clean Water Act, Republic Act 8749 or the Philippine Clean Air Act were distributed to the different stakeholders of the city of General Trias. Other notable accomplishments and milestones of the city government of General Trias are the following: operationalization of manual baling of collected residual plastics, monthly monitoring and inspection of junk shop in the whole city of General Trias, full implementation of urban and community gardening in all barangays, and the first execution year of Barangay Validation Assessment on Solid Waste Management and Implementation and Manila Bay Clean-up Rehabilitation and Preservation Program or MBC-RPP implementation.
Wow, congrats. And thank
Yun
you.
po yung mga initiatives and mga pwedeng i-absorb po ng ating mga manonood with regards to different sector ng environmental management.
Yes, and most especially, if we look at there are about 15 major river and lakes draining into the Manila Bay. And itong toka ninyo, of course, General Trias City in the province of Cavite is itong Ilang-Ilang and Rio Grande rivers. So we're very glad na dyan sa portion ninyo na yan, you're coming up with these kinds of programs. So thank you very much and congratulations for that. Di ba? Very impressive, Ma'am Telma. No? Every aspect has been thought of and meron silang sagot. We hope that the residents can really support this, and of course yung mga nasa Nabotas, Malabon, Tulyahan, Tenerejos River, yung River, NCR Rivers, yung sa Parañaque, Las Piñas, Zapote Rivers, Pasig, Marikina, San Juan or the Pamarisan River, Marilao, Mekawayan, Ubandono. Napaka-comprehensive nung coverage ng Manila Bay, no? Pampanga River, Pasac River in Pampanga, Pasig Potrero River also in Pampanga, Porac Gumain River, Angat Watershed, tributaries, Talisay, Imus, Cavite River, Maragondon River, and the Laguna Lake. So sana sa lahat ng areas na yan ay mapamarisan natin yung mga nagagawa na initiatives, or they can do more. I'm sure they're also doing
Yes.
their thing, and we can also learn from them. So later, pag may mga Tomasians din doon, may ating imbitahan din, Ma'am Telma, at makausap din because of this very pressing problem that we have now, sustainability.
Attorney, engineer, ang hirap ng kalaban natin eh. YouTube tsaka Netflix, pirming nakasubscribe sa telepono. Pirming nakasubsub sa telepono. Sabi ko nga, naku, kailangan, sabi ko, mabigat. Mabigat. Lahat nung, tuwang-tuwa ako dun sa pinakita ninyo, no, yung mga inisyatibong yan, ano, talaga namang saludo kami sa inyong katapangan at kasipagan sa Cavite. Nako, ang ano natin ngayon, Sherwin, dati ka rin namang na isang kabataan. Ano ba? Ano bang pwede nating gawin panggising? Sige, para sa mga magulang na nakikinig ngayon, ano bang pwede nating gawin pa?
Ang pwede natin gawin, talagang simulan natin sa mga bahay natin. So, number one talaga yung most visible environment problem talaga natin na very feasible na gawin natin is yung pag-aayos natin ng mga basura natin. So, itapon natin siya sa tamang tapunan. So, buti di ba si Ma'am Telma nagko-composting ng mga nabubulok na basura. And mind you po na more than 50% na nag-generate nating basura every day ay mga nabubulok na basura. So napakaganda po nung ginagawa initiative nila Ma'am Telma sa kanilang areas or sa kanilang mga bahay na nagkakaroon sila ng parang backyard composting. So kapag ginawa po natin yun every day, pag nakasanayan na natin siya, parang parang way of life na natin siya. So, I think yun yung number one na pwede natin gawin. Once na magawa natin sa mga bahay-bahay natin individually, yung mga basura natin, masegregate natin, then mapunta siya sa tamang tapunan. Then I think we can champion this Manila Bay clean up program.
Yes, so napaka-basic, no? Going back to the provision of the law, 9003, talaga namang mandated tayo lahat to do segregation at source. Yung tamang paghihiwalay ng ating basura, nabubulok sa hindi nabubulok, and then of course ma-divert natin yung pang-composting, ma-compost natin, or kung hindi man, maibigay natin sa city para magawa nila yung composting projects nila na nakita naman natin kanina. And then marami naman ng inisyatibo like sa amin, yung trash to cashback,
Yes.
incentives, yung plastic bank, yung mga nandyan, yung mga kapartner nila engineer, there are already many ways of dealing with diverting this waste para hindi na siya mapunta sa mga rivers, tributaries, and eventually sa Manila Bay that will kill the bay that gives us the resources that we need. And not only now, but even for the future generation. So, I think Telma, may tawag dyan, no? Yung now in my backyard. Kasi nung araw, at yun nga yung kanina ni Engineer Sherwin, ano? Yung pagtapon mo ng basura mo, akala mo wala na. Ang sabi natin dyan is out of sight, out of mind. Di ba? Akala natin, pag tinapon mo na, nakalimutan mo na, tapos na ang problema. Yung pala, ay mas malaki pa ang problema kasi pupunta siya sa river, pupunta siya sa Manila Bay at mamamatay yung ating bodies of water. And based on that, Ma'am Telma, no, we again thank of course General Trias City, of course Sherwin, and ating mga engineers and all the other local. No? Engineer Sherwin, no, yung may tawag kayo dyan, yung continuing mandamus. Di ba?
Yes, yung continuing mandamus. So, yung kinaso po or yung naging resulta ng pagkaso ng mga Caviteños po natin is that ang Supreme Court ay naglabas ng continuing mandamus. So hanggat hindi na-achieve yung tinatawag po na Class SB level or yung pwede pa ulit paliguan yung Manila Bay, hindi po natitigil itong kaso na ito. So, dapat continue siya na ginagawa. Hindi pwede yung ningas kugon lang na type ng pag-i-implement ng program or project. It should be continuous. Kaya maganda rin yung naging resulta po nung ginawa ng Supreme Court na gawin itong continuing mandamus. That's why para hindi siya maging ningas kugon ng mga programs and projects.
So, pasalamat tayo. And of course, pasalamat na rin tayo sa ating everyday heroes. Those who are really doing their part in their own homes, in their own houses para maibsan itong ating di ba?
Oo. Siyempre, malakas na panawagan dun sa may mga powers talaga, di ba? Lalo
Yeah.
na po yung mga may hawak na kumpanya, leader ng mga paaralan, eskwelahan, universidad, no? Yung mga, kasi meron tayong mga polisiya na pwede nating gawin na kung saan mas kukunti ang ating basura, mas magiging matipid tayo sa mga resources natin. Yan po yung ating tingnan, no? Kasi maliban sige, may gagawin tayo sa bahay, pero meron din tayong gagawin, no, sa opisina natin. Pero syempre, especially talagang matinding panawagan po sa mga leader na mga na nasa kumpanya, practicing po mga professionals, no. Yan po malaking bagay po lalo na kung ginawa nating mga polisiya yan. Agree ba, engineer?
Yes, kailangan po talaga natin ng help or tulong ng bawat isa, yung sa stakeholders natin, kasi talagang hindi yan kakayanin lang ng kumare tao lang or yung communities lang natin. Siyempre all should be involved po sa pag-aayos natin ng Manila Bay. So sample lang siguro yung Manila Bay, marami pa siguro ibang issues outside Manila Bay, yung iba pa sigurong bay or iba pang dagat sa within sa buong Pilipinas, na kapag na-champion natin itong programa na ito, then this can be duplicated or replicated sa mga iba pang areas natin.
At ang maganda rito, whatever they are doing, syempre nakakatulong ang ating mga Tomasian engineers because the program is of course the product of careful planning, studies, research. Yun nga yung pinagkakaabalan nila engineer. And kumbaga science-based ito. It's a science-based.
Science-based.
On what we can do really to champion sustainability now and tomorrow.
Ayan, engineer, iyayabang ko lang sa'yo yung nakaraang project namin ni Attorney Dwight. Speaker namin si Attorney Dwight. So dito po sa pamantasan ng Santo Tomas, nagkaroon po tayo ng hackathon. So ito po ay we encourage po our students, nagsama-sama po sila, merong from commerce, engineering, CFAD, no, etc. To come up with an innovation na that will solve problems of the environment, education, and health. And si Attorney Dwight po ang ating talaga namang resource speaker on the environment, kasi nasa kanya po meron pong ang kanya pong ginagawa ay talaga namang napakahalaga for the environment. Kaya nga po, ngayon po, it's yes, nandito tayo, meron tayong mga initiatives, no, pero napakahalaga po ngayon ng innovations, no, kasi yung mga innovations na yan ay magpapabilis, no. Yes, okay ang mga ginagawa natin, pero itong massive, no, mabilisan, malakihang hakbang ay talaga namang nakasalalay din po sa ating mga nandito sa paaralan, no, at mga namumuno sa ating bansa. Kaya saludo rin po ako sa DOST dahil talaga naman po sa kanilang pagsuporta on innovation, dahil talaga pong ito ay minamadali at top priority po natin. Ayan, so salamat po and congrats po sa winners. Kako, later on po maririnig po ninyo yung kwento nyo, mga naisip po ng mga ating mga Tomasinong na talaga namang sagot para sa ating environment. Ayan, salamat po.
And syempre, pag pinag-usapan natin mga bagay-bagay na to, kahit magdamag at 3 araw siguro tayo.
Tama.
Bago tayo matapos no, Ma'am Telma?
Oo, nako. Kwentuhan ito. Talaga namang, ako sa totoo lang, ito medyo, kailangan, wag na po nating antayin na masaktan pa tayo. Parang gano'n talaga, no? Pag nanay, wag, hindi kailangan talaga meron na talaga tayong gawin, no? And it's really a call. Ito po, kaya nga po January, sinimulan na natin Uy, teka muna, babanggitin ko to. Gusto ko talaga tong banggitin. Syempre po may nakakatapos, yun na namang concert na ikukwento ko, no? Patapos na nga tayo no? Meron po kasi yung mga umiilaw silang sinuot. So, yan po ay, pag ikaw lang mag-isa, walang yun. So, ang control nun, during the concert, merong nagko-control tapos umiilaw yung buong stadium, etc. So sa record po, ang Pilipinas po, kasi you have to return it, yung bracelet na yon. Tapos, ang Pilipinas po, ang pinakamababang return na bracelet.
So, inuwi nila.
Kasi gusto ng souvenir. Sabi naman namin wala namang mangyayari doon kasi kapag wala namang control. So anyway, wala lang, siningit ko pa talaga yun eh. Pero, kasi yun yung isa parang ito ay malaking reflection ng Pilipino kasi talagang yung puso niya ay gusto ko na meron akong souvenir, etc. Pero merong matinding panawagan si Engineer Sherwin, kaya sige nga po, sa remaining 4 minutes natin, sige, pwede namang hindi ubusin yon. Huling-huling mga salita at paalala sa ating mga nakikinig na all over the world. Engineer, pagkakataon, sige.
Mananawagan daw po, no? Mananawagan po sa ating buong sambayan ng planetang Earth. So, ito po ay lagi kong na-research ko lang kasi to. Si Howard Zinn kasi ay isang American historian. And sinasabi niya, ang ganda kasi nung sinabi niya dito na we don't have to engage in grand or heroic actions to participate in this change na kinakaharap natin. So, small acts when multiplied by millions of people can transform the world. Diba? Ang bigat po nung yung huling sentence na yun. Small acts when multiplied by millions of people can transform the world. So, kung lahat po ng tao, kunwari ay hindi na magtatapon ng basura sa bintana ng kanilang mga sasakyan, ang laki nung impact sa natin, sa mundo natin or sa areas natin, ay mapapansin natin na unti-unti nang lumilinis kasi nababawasan na yung nagtatapon ng basura or illegal disposal ng mga basura natin. So, yun parang yun yung nakastruck sa akin yung kay Howard Zinn, isa nating American historian.
Yes, and very, very relevant, no? Ma'am Telma, yan na yung sagot sa unang tanong mo kanina pag open ng show. Akala natin how to be heroic, no? Magiging Superman tayo, but I think wala small acts lang. We just do our share, we just do our part. So yung mga inuwi ninyo na bracelet, pag hindi na wala na yung control, huwag nyo na itapon. No, at the very least, itago yung maigi at kung hindi naman, you dispose of it properly. Telma.
Ayan po. So, sa totoo lang po, ang lahat daw po ng basura ay naguugat po talaga sa commercialization, no? Kaya nga po, ang panawagan ay ang makalingang diwa at gawa. Sabi nga, kung ang ating puso ay ang hanapin po natin ay ang authentic na kasayahan, no? Yes, nagpunta po kayo dun sa concert, kasama ninyo yung buong pamilya. Yun po yung mahalaga, hindi yung bracelet na yan. So, marami pong bagay na makikita po natin at yun po ang mas mahalaga. At yan po ay ang relationship, no? At actually, Sherwin, no, isa kang hiwaga. Sa amin, isa kang regalo. And eto, binibigay ako sa yung award, additional award. Kung nasan ka man ngayon, we are truly proud of you. At Sherwin, ipagpasalamat mo din sa Diyos na ikaw ay bahagi ng gawain yan. At talaga namang ikaw, ang ating mission vision ng University of Santo Tomas, ay talaga namang pinanindigan mo, no? Mission to the church, the nation, and the global community. Kaya nga po sa gabing ito, ipagpasalamat natin. Baliwala po ang lahat ng ating pagpapayaman, pagpapaganda, pagpaparami ng kung ano-ano man, kung ang atin namang pong paligid ay wala. Sira, no? Hindi tayo makakahinga, walang tubig, lahat po yan ay wala. Kaya nga po, maraming salamat kasi nagsama-sama tayo ngayon at nabigyan ng pagkakataon na manawagan sa lahat ng nakikinig sa atin. So muli po, ang Bridges po ay inyong tulay para naman po kahit konting kembot, may magawa tayo sa mundong ito. So sama-sama po, ipagpasalamat natin ang araw na ito na kung saan tayo po ay nakapag-share ng ating mga insights. And of course, Panginoon, samahan mo kami. At with full intention, bukas, gagawin namin ang dapat namin gawin for a better environment. So, good night to everyone. Maraming salamat. Imbued with God's unending grace, let's do this.
And so, maraming salamat, Engineer Sherwin, for your time and of course for that very wonderful message of what we need to do for sustainability and our environment. So, with that, thank you also, and some announcements. Of course, congratulations to the newly appointed Acting Director of the Office of Alumni Relations, si Dr. Inti Rocamora. So congratulations, ma'am, and welcome sa mundo ng alumni, and we look forward to working with you. Congratulations too to the newly organized USC Alumni Association Hong Kong chapter. Wow!
Wow!
UMOL, and the induction ceremony of their founding board was held last January 19, 2024. Mainit na mainit at katatapos lang yan. Before we end the show, we would like to thank all our alumni, students, and friends who have faithfully watched, shared, and liked our Bridges episodes. We share with you the blessings of Bridges, and do continue to stay with us, like and share our show, and subscribe to our UST Tomasian Alumni Community YouTube channel and Facebook page. The past episodes of Bridges can be watched in our YouTube channel. Thank you for joining us today, and do watch again on Tuesday for another exciting episode. Binigyan na kayo ng konting preview ni Ma'am Telma. We will talk about innovations and involving Tomasians. Remember, here at Bridges, we build bridges of faith, bridges of hope, and bridges of love. Enjoy the rest of the evening. God bless us all. Mabuhay.